Alright, so for 5.4, what I want to talk about is the substitution rule. More information about this rule can be found in your book, but essentially what is going to happen is that the substitution rule is essentially the inverse of the chain rule. But for this videos, I'm just going to show you how to do the substitution rule along with two other videos to show you different kind of problem that you might encounter while doing your homework. So to do this, let's just start with an example. So we want to evaluate the integral of cosine cube theta times sine of theta d theta. Previously, the only integral that we work with are those that involve addition and subtraction, so we can take the integral term by term. In this case, we have multiplication, so how do we actually take the integral? Step 1. We choose some part of the function to be u. Let's just pick a part of a function. Let's say let u be cosine of theta. Then we take the derivative of on both sides with respect to their variable. Meaning on the left we take the derivative of u with respect to u, so we just get du. On the right we take the derivative of cosine with respect to theta. Derivative of cosine is negative sine, and then there's a d theta. Here I do want to note that as in every other one where we have to pick some kind of a value, there is really no way to tell which u is going to work. After you do this enough time, you get a feeling as to which u might work, but otherwise, most of the time you are going to just have to guess and check. Pick one, try and see if it can simplify the problem. If not, pick another u. Now, what I mean by simplifying the problem, I mean that when you substitute everything back into the equation, it should look a lot simpler. It should look like something that you have already seen before. For example, if we let u be equal to cosine of theta, we have cosine cube theta, sine theta d theta. Well, cosine of theta, that is u. Or rather, cosine is u, cosine cube is going to be u cube. And then this entire thing, well, that is negative du. We move the negative to the left hand side, and we see that on the right hand side we have sine theta, d theta, which is the same over here. So we just substitute everything in. So that would be u cube, and that's negative du. I'll put a negative to the outside. And then u to the third, well, that is just going to be a power rule. That is just going to be a polynomial. So we add 1 to the exponent and we bring it down. And that's how we integrate. Now, one last thing that you want to remember is that they are asking to evaluate this with respect to theta, not with respect to u. Meaning, you have to substitute what did you put in for u in the first place. In this case, it's going to be cosine of theta raised to the 4. Meaning negative 1/4, that's a plus c, 4 theta plus c. So that's the two steps that you want to focus on. Step 1, find some function or some part of the function. Let that be equal to u. Step 2, take the derivative of both sides. Sorry, that's also step one. And then step two, substitute everything back in.